Hey guys, Mustached. I'm here to review Captain America: Brave New World. I'm here to review this movie as objectively as possible, so I waited for the movie to actually come out before saying it would fail or succeed. You know, like how we've already probably seen people predicting that this was going to be a failure because, the one who was once Captain America is not Captain America. The shield has been passed down, and because of that, and because, well, the race wars and the that war on the YouTube, people cannot just be satisfied with that alone. As well as the MCU being in that area of struggling for quite some time. That is something even I will acknowledge, despite everything else. But I am still here to review this movie as objectively as possible. That is my goal. And to be fair and just, and give this movie the fair shake like any other movie it deserves. So I went to go see it, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. So, obviously, he was once the Falcon, has become the new Captain America, as you see here in the poster. There was this in-between series of Falcon and the Winter Soldier teaming up. I didn't watch that series, so there are bits there that I'm gapped out on. So I don't think, though, you necessarily need to watch that series to understand this, necessarily. Anyway, so we start with Harrison's Ford character, Ross, the current president of America, and he legitimately mentions both the Thanos snap, keeping that continuity, sound, as well as even the Eternals statue, which was very refreshing. This shows that, yeah, they really were paying attention to the events of previous movies, and now they're finally paying that off. Despite, the Eternals, sort of movie outcome, I would argue, even myself. Anyway. So, while that's happening, Captain America is watching this little press conference, and 5 months pass from this little press conference. And he's coming down to essentially visit, or to, help out the president, essentially, in fighting. So, we learn fairly quickly that his wings can deflect bullets, and that his gear was upgraded by Wakanda, their resource. So yeah. So, again, keeping the outside movie, the other movies in tow here. So, he goes for the hostages while there's this other package that he has the new Falcon in this movie to go retrieve. So he proceeds to fight a bigger man, while the rest of this team, that Team America, is helping him out, goes to get that resource. We cut back to President Ross, and after their little successful thing, attack to get this resource. They're essentially invited to find this area that Cap finds suspicious. So he takes the new Falcon to Maryland to this new. I don't know if he was in one of the previous movies. This particular super soldier, because there were many of them outside of Bucky that were present, so he was among those individuals to help the new Falcon train to bulk up and be ready for anything, essentially. But he gets a call from the president. Now, this causes some tension with the soldier, who was used in, that was sort of, bygone through deep government, sort of stuff going on, so. But Cap, despite that and his own tensions with the president, current Ross, he decides to visit the White House regardless, bringing him in tow, in fact. So, Ross wants to rebuild the Avengers. So, that is the confirmation here that this is what I would consider the beginning of Phase 5, unless we were already there, I guess. I'm not even sure what phase we're on, honestly. But this movie definitely seems like for the sake of simplicity, it does seem like we're in a new phase. As of now, the rebuilding of the Avengers seems like, again, the juncture of a new phase. So Ross starts his meeting, and they use that, the Elemental's statue that has been, left there, as the new source of adamantium, a source that is in the comics as well. So, I will admit that's pretty clever. That, again, they are using things not only from, the comics, but furthermore from their previous works in the movies. So, again, not bad. So, the soldier begins to attack, and among a few others. So Cap has to try to defend Ross, and the other people are trying to get out. And after said attack, Ross wants this deal over because of this friendship. And he wants Cap out of there. But Captain America is convinced that there is this buyer that has been making contact and is, doing this whole deeper control system going on. And his suspicions are rewarded via a phone call from a guy from the beginning of the movie called Sidewinder. I'm assuming he's like this lesser-known villain, I'm guessing. But he's played by a famous actor, so, there's that's pretty cool. Anyway, so Falcon picks up the location of where this call has come from. Meanwhile, a man inside the White House area kills these prisoners after being mind-controlled, and then proceeds to kill himself. There is a widow soldier among the presidential ranks, and she's throughout the movie as well. She's there seeing this and uncovering these details as things unfold. So Ross gets called in called by the threats, and proceeds to call back his service. Cap and Falcon move in and to that location that Falcon had dug up, and they begin to uncover all the rest of the people that have mind controlled, as well as Ross being experimented with. All of that being uncovered. In talks with the president, meanwhile, he's in Japan trying to smooth over this this escalation that is. But the Japanese potential president, I guess, at this juncture, believes this to be a deep American ploy, considering all the White House shenanigery going on. But the buyer, he wants something a little bit more than just death at this juncture. He wants to ruin Ross's career, and then, proceed to kill him that later. So, they get the Widow Soldier to join in that fight. Cap and Falcon also fight out, but they get arrested shortly after. They use the mind control to help them escape, because some of the soldiers there are indeed mind controlled. So we learn that Ross wants control of the adamantium. He believes that this resource is best served for American value. Meanwhile, at their base, Cap's base, where Falcon plays the mind control, but no one there seems to be tampered with, so they at least have that on their side for the time being. However, with the escalations being what they are, the timetable is being shortened. As the war for the adamantium is on its way, Japan is on its way to get it as well, so they go to, what's currently being called the Celestial Island. So that's where they end up. So it prevails that the buyer, who his name is Steins, wanted this America versus Japan rivalry to show Ross who he really was deep down. And so the war commences. The firing begins as mind control happens there too. And of course, this causes even further escalation. This begins the first process of Ross beginning to change, but they have it built up, which is a nice change of pace from some of the later Hulk movies, or movies Hulk is featured in where he can just freely transform. It is nice to sort of back pace for this new version of Hulk here that we're getting, Red Hulk, aka. Nonetheless, Ross manages to, calm himself in that framework, as Cap and Falcon manage to deal, but Falcon is severely injured. And we get our cameo appearance, this from Bucky, arriving on the scene to inspire, Cap, who believes that Steve Rogers had poorly picked him and that he should take on the serum to be more. And Bucky retorts that even with the serum, Cap still had his own shortcomings, and that he picked Falcon because he is him. And so, with that inspiring speech, Steins is making his anger being known, his own anger being known, due to that failure of a attempt. So Ross calls his daughter to help to keep up with all that. And meanwhile, or after the fact, he goes to this press conference where everyone is, suspecting of, what's going on, why is this war happening, and Stein takes control of that conference, and thus, with those right button pushes, Red Hulk is officially born in the climactic fight between now him and Captain America, who makes his way there. But Capley wisely lures him further away from the crowd and other soldiers from getting potentially hurt or killed in that process. This Hulk manages to get even a wing off of this Captain America here, but we see that he's able to use his other wing to jab into the Hulk. That is just how strong his own armor is that it is capable of penetration of that level. But he does try talking this version of Hulk down, and eventually, the second time around, it is successful. Meanwhile, we cut to Captain America visiting Ross, who has now stepped down as president and is now in a prison where the daughter visits. Cap goes to visit Falcon, and he proceeds to accept the idea that the Avengers are gonna indeed be needed moving forward. So that is Captain America: Brave New World. And, in thinking of this title, I actually do think that it is quite befitting, is that finally they have mentioned the Thanos snap in previous movies, but they're now also accepting even, again, the Eternals, stuff as well, and how that's all playing into this quote-unquote Brave New World, with these new sources and what that means for it as well. And that how people will fight over that new resource, as predictable as that is. And I do like how there is that challenge between this version of Captain America, again, with, presidential power, because, after all, at least normally speaking, so this movie I find is actually also very timely in terms of, politics and stuff, the president is supposed to serve, America. All of America, that being the phrase that I think seems to prevail to get lost, and seemingly as the days are here with our current predicament, that seems to be where a lot of that contention still is. So again, a very timely movie in terms of that regard, about what it means to set aside, these certain notions of what protection means, and, versus another country's needs, and the world's needs, and bigger values, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think in terms of a Captain America movie, I think this is fine. I would dare argue it's actually pretty damn good. I'd probably say I don't remember much about Winter Soldier at this point, so I would probably argue that it is probably better than that, maybe? Again, I don't remember a lot of what happens in the Winter Soldier at this juncture, so you'll have to forgive me, but again, just in terms of what is happening now, I do think that this movie is serviceable. It is enjoyable. There's plenty of action. It challenges the hero in his value of being that new role of Captain America. It challenges him to the idea of like what it means to serve again America, as well that as his name implies. And yeah, I think both of those things are challenged, yes, and then we see him prevail. That is a very base storyline. So I think this movie is a solid 7 out of 10. I think if you were someone who listened to someone's video about perhaps a predestined version of what this movie was going to be, perhaps give the movie an actual watch yourself if you're still intrigued by the MCU or even Captain America himself. Either or, I would say if you have either of those, then check this movie out for yourself. Do not let someone who's saying, pre-movie coming out, critical jinker. Oh yes, I call out other YouTubers when they do this. Of course I do. I'm not a coward. So yes, watch the movie for yourself if you still have interest in either of these properties, the MCU as a bigger juncture, or Captain America as a, contained there within. Then see the movie for yourself. I think you'll be, satisfied with this movie. With that, that is my review of Captain America Brave New World. If you ended up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description when I head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers. Second to my PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly, and third to my Discord server, where you can join, collab, chill, do all that cool stuff. And until next time everyone, bye bye!